If your name suddenly appeared on a screen with a countdown timer, would you run, hide, or accept what's coming? Because on this luxury ship in the middle of nowhere, that exact nightmare began without warning or explanation. And the worst part wasn't the countdown. It was what happened to people the moment it reached zero. No explosions, no screams, no struggle. Just 1 second they were there, and the next completely gone. By the time anyone realized this wasn't a game, the list had already chosen its next victim. The voyage was marketed as an exclusive daytime escape, filled with luxury, privacy, and people important enough to be invited. Everyone believed they were special for being chosen, but no one stopped to question who exactly did the choosing. Amara wasn't supposed to be among them, because the invitation she carried didn't originally belong to her. She had taken someone else's place at the last moment, thinking it was harmless, a decision she would soon regret. The ocean that day was almost too perfect, calm, quiet, and strangely empty, like the world itself was holding its breath. Even the crew seemed unusually tense, watching the passengers more than usual, as if they were expecting something to happen. But nothing could have prepared them for the moment that massive screen powered on without warning. At first, people assumed it was part of the entertainment, something dramatic meant to impress the wealthy guests on board, until the screen displayed a single name, bold and unmistakable, followed immediately by a countdown timer, and suddenly, what felt like a vacation started turning into something no one could explain or control. Lovey himself laughed at first, waving it off like a joke, completely unaware that everyone else was watching him. The timer kept ticking, loud enough now that people could hear it over the music and conversations. Phones came out instantly, people recording, posting, laughing nervously as the seconds continued to disappear. But Lovey's smile slowly faded as the timer dropped under 30 seconds, and no one explained what was happening. He tried stepping away, but something about the moment made it feel like running wouldn't change anything. 10 seconds left, and now the entire deck had gone silent, every single eye locked onto him. 5 seconds, and you could see the fear finally take over, the realization that this might not be a game. Then the timer hit zero, and Lovey vanished instantly, leaving nothing behind but shock and confusion. No flash, no sound, no explanation, just empty space where a living person stood seconds before. And in that moment, every single person on that ship realized they were no longer safe. Before anyone could process what just happened, the screen flickered again and began loading another name. This time, no one laughed, no one moved, because they all understood exactly what the countdown meant. A woman screamed and tried to run, but the doors leading inside the ship suddenly locked shut. Phones stopped working completely, leaving everyone cut off from the outside world with no way to call for help. The second name appeared, and this time the person started begging before the timer even reached 1 minute. Amara watched carefully, realizing the names weren't random, because certain people reacted before they were even chosen. It was like they already knew something, like they had been expecting this moment to come eventually. Then she noticed something else. The crew wasn't surprised at all, which made everything even more terrifying. The timer reached zero again, and just like before, the second person disappeared without leaving a single trace behind. Panic exploded instantly, people pushing, shouting, trying to escape a situation that clearly had no visible exit. But no matter where they ran, the ship felt smaller, like it was closing in on them with every passing second. Amara forced herself to stay calm, knowing that panic wouldn't save her, but understanding what was happening might. She pushed through the crowd, determined to find answers before her own name inevitably appeared on that screen. That's when she ran into him, the one person who didn't look scared at all, and that alone made him the most dangerous person on the entire ship. He introduced himself as Adrian, but something about the way he spoke made it clear that wasn't his real name. Amara didn't trust him, but right now he seemed like the only person who understood what was happening. He told her quietly that this wasn't just a random event, it was something planned long before they boarded, and every single person on this ship had been chosen because of something they had done in the past. That's when the screen changed again, but this time it didn't show just a name. It showed a secret, exposing one passenger's hidden crime for everyone to see. Gasps filled the air as people realized their own secrets could be next, and suddenly the disappearances didn't feel random anymore. They felt like punishment. Amara's heart dropped because she knew exactly what would happen if her truth was revealed, because she wasn't just an imposter. She was running from something far worse. As the sun slowly disappeared beneath the horizon, the atmosphere on the ship shifted into something far more dangerous. Darkness made everything worse, because now fear had room to grow without anyone seeing where the real danger was. The screen kept glowing in the distance, like a silent judge watching every move they made. Names started appearing faster now, giving people less time to react before they were taken. Some people turned on each other, convinced that someone on board was controlling everything from behind the scenes. Others tried to hide, thinking that staying out of sight might somehow protect them from being chosen next. But the list didn't need to see you to find you, and that truth terrified everyone even more. Amara stayed close to Adrian, even though trusting him felt like a risk she might not survive, because deep down she knew he wasn't telling her everything about his connection to this nightmare. And the way he watched the screen made it seem like he was waiting for something specific to happen. That's when her name almost appeared, glitching briefly before disappearing like the system had made a mistake. Her heart nearly stopped, because now she knew it was only a matter of time before she was chosen. Adrian finally admitted something that changed everything. This wasn't just punishment, it was a test. A test designed to see who would break first, and who was willing to do anything to survive. And according to him, only one person on this ship was meant to make it out alive, which meant the real danger wasn't the list, it was everyone else on board. Because survival suddenly meant making choices no one was ready to face. And the longer the night continued, the more those choices started becoming impossible to avoid. Amara realized she couldn't just survive this, she had to figure out who was behind it. Because if she didn't stop it, she would eventually become just another name on that screen. When the first light of morning finally touched the ocean again, it didn't bring relief, it exposed just how much had changed. The crowd was smaller now, quieter, and the fear had settled into something deeper than panic, something much more dangerous, because now they understood the rules, and understanding them didn't make anything easier, it made everything worse. The screen turned on again, brighter than before, as if it had been waiting for everyone to see clearly. This time, it didn't show a name immediately, it showed a message that made everyone freeze instantly. Final phase begins now, only one will leave. The words hit harder than anything before, because now the truth was clear. This was never about survival together. It was about who was willing to survive alone, no matter what it cost everyone else around them. Amara felt it instantly. The shift in the air, the moment trust disappeared completely between every person still standing. Even Adrian looked different now, like he had been waiting for this exact moment all along. That's when the next name appeared, but this time something about it felt very different. It wasn't a stranger's name, it was someone standing right there in front of everyone, and instead of running, that person made a choice no one expected. They confessed everything, every secret, every lie, right there in front of the entire ship. For a moment, it felt like maybe that was the answer, that honesty could somehow stop what was happening. But the timer didn't stop, and when it reached 0, they disappeared just like the others. That's when the last bit of hope finally died, because now they knew nothing could change the outcome. The only thing left to decide was how far each person was willing to go to avoid being next. And that's when Amara realized something terrifying about Adrian that she hadn't noticed before. He wasn't afraid at all, because he already knew how this was going to end. Amara confronted him directly, demanding the truth, because she knew he had been hiding something from the very beginning. And finally, Adrian admitted something that changed everything. He had been on this ship before, not physically, but digitally, as part of the system that was controlling everything happening right now. This wasn't just a ship, it was a controlled environment designed to test human behavior under extreme pressure. Every passenger had been selected based on their past actions, their secrets, and their potential to make impossible choices. And Adrian wasn't just a participant. He was part of the system observing who would survive. But something changed when he met Amara, something that made him question everything he thought he understood. Because unlike the others, she wasn't just hiding a secret, she was trying to escape it. And that made her different, in a way the system hadn't predicted. The screen suddenly changed again, and this time there was no countdown, just one final name, Amara. The entire ship went silent, because everyone knew what that meant. She had reached the end of the test, the final decision that would determine everything. Adrian looked at her, and for the first time he actually seemed unsure about what would happen next. Because this wasn't part of the pattern, and the system didn't know how she would respond. She could run, hide, or try to fight something she didn't fully understand. But none of those options felt right. Instead, she made a choice no one expected, not even the system that had been controlling everything. She told the truth, not just about her past, but about why she ran from it in the first place. And for the first time, the screen didn't respond immediately, like it was processing something new. The silence stretched longer than any countdown before, and no one knew what would happen next. Then the system glitched violently, as if her choice had broken something deep within it. Adrian stepped back, realizing that this outcome had never been part of the design. And suddenly, the rules no longer applied. For the first time since it began, the system lost control, and that changed everything. The screen went dark, and for a moment it felt like it was finally over. The doors unlocked, the signal returned, and the ship slowly began moving again as if nothing had happened. Survivors stood there in disbelief, unsure if they had actually escaped, or if this was just another phase. Amara turned to Adrian, expecting answers. But what she saw in his expression made her heart drop instantly. Because he wasn't surprised that it ended, he was surprised that she survived. And that meant something was still very wrong. Then, without warning, the screen turned back on one final time. But this time, it didn't show a name from the ship. It showed something far more disturbing, an entirely new list. A list that wasn't limited to the people on board. Thousands of names appearing one after another, stretching far beyond anything they could understand. And at the very top of that list was Amara, followed by one word that made everything clear: subject selected. Adrian finally understood, and the look on his face said everything she needed to know. She hadn't survived the test, she had passed it. And now, she was part of it. The system didn't end, it evolved, and she was its next controller. The ship wasn't the experiment, it was just the beginning, because now the list was going global, and no one anywhere was safe anymore. Amara looked at the screen one last time, realizing what she had become, and for the first time she smiled. Because now she understood the power she had been given, and somewhere far away, another screen just turned on, with a brand new name appearing.